Right. So thank you everyone for taking the time out. Really appreciate you all being here. So I am Nikhilji, and I lead the technical development and also I lead the marketing efforts of Durga Publications. We are eagerly awaiting, rather, hosting this event with you. Sorry, for people who are just joining, I would request you all to go on mute. If you've got any questions through this session, I would ask you to ask them on the chat tab, so just so that we don't have too many people asking the question at the same time. So mute, and if you've got any questions, please use the chat tab to ask them through. So I lead the team here. So we've got a team, I would say, approximately of 20 people who've been working behind the scenes, up and full time for the last, I think, 1.5 to 2 months, trying to get this event ready. So hopefully everything goes off really well, and you're all happy at the end of the day on Monday. So a couple of key questions, a couple of key comments from my end. We've talked about, please make sure you're on mute, and if you've got any questions, please ask them on the chat tab. Number two, just to let you know, we've all done this before. We've all done a bunch of these events before. We've done 5, 6, 7 of these events before in the last 2 months. So the team is very experienced in delivering these. We know some of the pitfalls that come up, so don't worry too much. We are expecting everything to go smoothly on Monday. If you have any queries, the team and your single point of contact is there to answer that. We've had over 400 agents from across the Middle East register for it. In fact, we had over 500 or 600 people, but we had to filter out the people who weren't in the Middle East. The team's done a massive, massive effort trying to get the right agents to sign up. I believe you have all received a list, or should have received a list, which names the agents who have selected you as their preferred meeting times. If you haven't seen that email already, please look at that email now and go into the system to book meetings with them. Just from background purposes and just from our experience, I would request you all to try and confirm 40 meetings for Monday. So we've actually got only 20 meeting slots, but there will be times where people will not show up on time, people will come late, or people just won't show up because they're having IT trouble, they're having computer trouble, they're busy at work. So because this being a virtual event and being one of the first virtual events in the Middle East market, I request you to try and schedule out 40 meetings. You will have multiple people on your booth. So if 2 people come or 3 people come at the same time, you can always, multiple people can take that call. So if you have less than 40 confirmed, or you don't know who to ask, contact your single point of contact, and he will or they will help you schedule some more meetings. You should have also received an email yesterday from single point of contact, which is effectively your point of contact for this event. Anyone from your team has any queries, be that buyer is not showing up on time, something is wrong with your IT, you don't know how to receive a call, your computer is hanging, you're having any trouble, contact your single point of contact. I've made them give you their mobile numbers, their email addresses, etc. So call them, WhatsApp them. You can even call them, WhatsApp them over the weekend if you're having any trouble, and we will show you, and they'll try to best to solve them. Finally, your single point of contacts have been given the responsibility, and you've got, I think, for every 3 of you or 4 of you, there's one Spock. So the Spock has been given the responsibility of WhatsApping all your confirmed meetings before 5 or 10 minutes before the actual meeting is scheduled to take place. So if you don't schedule your meetings between today and maybe over the weekend, these guys cannot chase them on Monday. Even if you confirm them early on Monday, just drop us a note to say, hey, schedule another 5 or 10 meetings, and the Spock will chase the agent and make sure he shows up. From experience, there will be a few meetings where people don't come. We've got lots of controls in place and measures in place to chase people, but it happens, people don't show up, they're at work, they're busy, there's something wrong with the computer. It happens all the time. Nothing to worry about. Let the Spock know and we will try and chase it up. If we can't, then we will share the details with all of those people with you later, so you can email, call, or Zoom them at any point later. So that's enough for me. I will now hand over to Arjun, who will sort of talk you through the system and show you the front end and the buyer side as well as the seller side once again. Arjun, over to you.
Perfect. So it's great to meet you all again, and it's always nice to connect, especially before an event. And we are all working virtual show a big success. met you all a few days back and we learned about what the whole platform, the backend end looks like. We will do a quick revision of what we learned and maybe we bring ourselves more hands-on to the platform. Then I would showcase the front end, what the buyers will get to see. And of course, then we will open the forum for a good Q&A so that whatever questions are left, we can take them on hands-on. So without any further delay, I would share my screen and I would show you the backend, basically the admin platform for the Singapore Tourism Roadshow. Is my screen? Hopefully, the screen is available to be seen with all of you.
Yeah, we can see your screen, Arjun.
Yes.
Perfect. So now the exhibitors, this is the exhibitor platform. We have taken Singapore Tourism Board itself to showcase how things should be done. Representatives now, if you look here closely, Singapore Tourism Board has added various representatives with the dummy email ID of first name of the representative followed by at stbvirtual.com. Basically, this stbvirtual.com, as I said, is a dummy email ID, and that we have used just to make it more homogeneous, same for everybody. So that's simpler for everybody. So if you need to add your representatives, the best thing to do is to have your representative's first name followed by at stbvirtual.com. I'm also the SPOC, the single point of contact for a few of you, and I would get in touch with you one-on-one as well to tell you how one can change it. Basically, when you add a new representative, you can just add their name here, and in the email ID, you can add their name followed by at stbvirtual.com. That's basically it. All the SPOCs have gone through your platforms and they have told you what's left to do. Like, for example, documents are there. A critical point while uploading the document is that when you add a new document, this status needs to be checked. Only when you check this, the buyers from the front end can view your documents. Otherwise, they just get saved for your own purposes. So a few of the sellers did not click the check, and now we have advised them to do so. So that's basically helps the buyers to view and download your content, your brochures easily. Then again, a quick revision for the prefix meetings. As you can see here, you can filter accepted meetings. We also have a country-wise filter as well. Here, to give you an example, Singapore Tourism Board as a seller have 15 confirmed meetings, and their pending meeting stat, if I can quickly show you, right here is about 22. So with about 15 odd accepted meetings, 22 odd pending meetings, our advice would be, as Nikhil also said, and I would like to reiterate, that our experience in handling such virtual shows tells us that if we go with a 40 and above accepted meetings, that gives us a comfortable meeting confirmed appointments, because many a times what happens is that even though the confirmed meetings that's already set up, but due to unforeseen circumstances like the laptop not working properly, and it can happen with any one of us, right? The internet connection doesn't work well, or the buyer gets a last minute work call or some home engagement. So it's better to create backups. So we really suggest you to give as many requests so that your pending status goes up, let's say to 50, 60 meetings, so that your accepted status goes at least 40 meetings. So that's basically what I wanted to reinstate. That's very important.
Arjun, just to step in here, guys, just to remind you all that Sunday is a working day in the Middle East. So if you send meeting requests today and tomorrow, there is an expectation that a lot of the agents will accept them on Sunday morning when they go into work for the first day. So it's a holiday for all of us, so it's a holiday for all of you rather, but Sunday is a working day in the Middle East, so people will accept meetings on the day. Thanks.
Right. So that's basically about the admin platform. This is the dashboard. You can see your prefixed meetings as well as your updated documents. And after this, I would move on to the front end of the platform. And this you can see the link which as a buyer one can see. This will be live on the 31st of August from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. UAE time. I have already registered myself in the register now platform. So of course I can use my email ID here and I can submit it so that I reach to the STB Virtual Roadshow 2020
Let me just come in
main
here
event
one
website.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arjun.
Yes, Krishna.
The login page, that is where the exhibitors were going to use their address dummy
Right.
email. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for adding that, Krishna. So when, as I showed you the login page, I used my email ID through which I registered as a buyer. Now, as exhibitors, when you make the dummy email IDs, like for example, stb@stbvirtual.com, your representatives can use those dummy email IDs to log in to get the meetings done. To give you an example, basically the stbvirtual.com is a exhibitor pass which you may give for any of the actually physical shows that you do. So that's an exhibitor dummy pass that you're creating for them to enter in the platform. So once they enter, they would see the auditorium and the meeting room. They can click the auditorium, and as soon as they click the auditorium, the welcome message would automatically start in the auditorium. There are videos, there are brochures of MICE section uploaded by STB already. The leisure section has the leisure brochures respectively. Poll questions would be placed on your right hand side. And if the people have, the buyers basically have any questions with regards to the panel discussions that they are able to view, they can ask the questions by this tab on your right. And of course, that's about the auditorium. Then moving on to the meeting rooms, we can see there are all of your booths. The first page has every seller's details. And for example, I intend to do a meeting with the Singapore Tourism Board. I click their icon and I reach to their booth. So this is what the booth of Singapore Tourism Board as an example would look like. All your other sellers also will be, the booths will look in a similar fashion. The documents can be viewed and downloaded from the document section right here. All the documents uploaded can be downloaded and viewed. The videos likewise can be seen, social media, contacts. Now, these things which are there on the left hand side as well on the right hand side, some of them are also easily placed on hyperlinks on your booth itself. So the video which Singapore Tourism Board wants to display can be viewed here. Similarly, your social media connections are all embedded here, as well as the sales info can be viewed from the sales information, and documents can be downloaded from here as well. So this is just to give you an idea about how the buyer would experience the virtual roadshow. Now, the interesting part about the communication through the virtual prefix meetings comes on your right hand side, the chat and video call function. So right now you can see that there are many tabs available. So this is a point that you might want to note, that when you demarcate or make representatives who would operate from your booth on the day of the roadshow, all of them would appear here, and only if they are live and they are logged in during the 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. duration of the roadshow, will they be able to conduct meetings, which is either text, audio, or video. For example, this is the front end that you can see from my screen right now. And at the back end of Singapore Tourism Board, I have my colleague Sanjay, and he is there live from the back end. So he is a representative. I have made an email ID with sanjay@stbvirtual.com. He logged in through in a similar way like I did, and he can do as a representative, and I am a buyer. I hope I am clear on this, because of course I have run through this many a times, but it might take a while to get the hang of it. If you want me to repeat, I'll be more than happy to do that. Sanjay, as I said, is on the backend admin platform of the Singapore Tourism Roadshow, and I am the buyer. I get to see that because Sanjay is live, I can talk to him. I click here and this chat box pops up. So there is a video option, there is an audio option, and of course I can just simply text Sanjay whether he is there or not. So when you see there is a blue tick, just as your WhatsApp, I can see Sanjay is typing in a very similar fashion. He is replying to me as well. So I would just like to reiterate the fact that the platform itself, it might take one or two times to get the hang of it, but this is generally what happens. This is we do it in a day or two in advance, and most of our sellers feel that it's a very easy platform. I have experienced it personally, so I can talk from my own accord. We can do a video call right here. So I have clicked this button here. So basically, I've clicked a video call, and I want to do it with the representative of Singapore Tourism Board through their booth on the roadshow. And I want to do a video chat. And hi, Sanjay. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. So basically, that's what the video is. In a similar fashion, you can do an audio call. Text I've already showed you. And what is even more interesting is that you can download all your conversations. Many productive meetings would take place, we are hoping, and you can save your conversation. So if I can just zoom it and show you, here, this is the name of the rep, the first name that we have allocated to our rep. We click this small arrow on the right hand side where the name ends, and then we can save the conversation, and it gets saved on your laptop in your machine, and you can basically browse through the information, what your conversation was in your leisure time. Basically, that wraps up our the whole teaser for the front end of the platform. You can also book an appointment when
Arjun,
the buyers are there. Yeah, sure. Please, Nikhil, please jump in.
So what I would suggest is also, let's just show them how the call comes to them as an exhibitor. So Sanjay, can you share your screen now? And Arjun, if you just call Sanjay, we can just show how it works on the other side of the platform.
Sure.
Sanjay, can you hear me? If you could please share your screen now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sharing.
So as you are logged in as Vidit on the STB booth, so if you just show your booth, and Arjun, if you could just make a call now.
Sure, I'll do that.
So if you can see on the top right hand side, it says Arjun Chadda incoming call. Sanjay, you will accept. And same, exactly the same, everyone. So you've got a chat coming up. So again,
right.
Fairly. So if you can, Sanjay, you can stop screen sharing.
Excuse me. Let's also highlight the attendees here. This is very important because the attendees tab, when you click it, this is where you will see who are the live buyers at your stand.
Sanjay, can you please start sharing again?
Yeah, so here in the attendees, we suggest that every now and then you click it because you will see who are the live people that are at your stand at the moment. Probably they're watching your videos, downloading your documents, checking your social media. So you can also initiate the call to them through this tab.
And keep on refreshing it.
Yeah.
So exactly. So everyone, so if there's a time where there's lots of people on your desk, on your booth, refresh, start a chat with them so you can start calling them. If you have any problem scheduling, reaching out to them, and if you've got these people, let us know who they are, and your Spock will reach out to them to have a call. Not a problem at all. That's all we can do. Sanjay, could you just refresh on this page one? Like exactly. So that's how you refresh. So we'll keep on requesting you to refresh this fairly regularly so that we can you can check who's on your booth, and then you can either start a call or a chat with them yourself, or you can tell your Spock who will do it for you. Thank you, Sanjay. You can stop sharing now.
So basically, that's
yeah.
So basically, that's what the whole front end of the platform would look like. The back end, we have already explained. A couple of notes regarding the Spock. At this point, I would introduce you to your Spocks. I'm sure they have gotten in touch with you already. I am taking care of all of you. The Spocks have been allocated 3 to 4 sellers. So along with me, I have Ritesh Aluwalia on this call as well. I also have Harish Chetri as well as Mitesh. All three of them, along with me, we would look after the sellers. In case you have any queries, you can reach out to us, and we will be there to guide you in the best possible capacity of ours. And now I believe we can open the forum for question and answers. You can write your questions and answers on the chat functionality, and my team, technical team, Mr. Pankaj is also there. We would try to basically answer them one by one.
Perfect. So the first question is by Fawad Khan. So the exhibitor access for the reps will be enabled tomorrow morning. So we're actually waiting. We're actually ready to go do it now, but we're just doing some beta testing to make sure there's no issues. So that should be stopped. That will be stopped, I would say. That will be done by the end of the day. So you can have your team access it by tomorrow morning. Just to reiterate, the system will be quite blank as of tomorrow morning. So it won't actually be live, and you won't be able to, it'll be live, but you won't be able to get the functionality till Monday morning when buyers start coming and calling. But if you want your teams to go in and experience the booth and experience the calling, that's absolutely fine. You can do that there. Eugene has asked, can we edit the images of banner at the front end individual companies booth? No, unfortunately, those banners and those booth images have been built in the system. We have no functionality to edit that anymore. Janet is asking the attendee list. Please advise on the page where you may find this. Arjun, do you want to take this one?
The attendee list. I will.
I can take this. Janet, do you mean like at the booth earlier where we showed you who are the live attendee lists? Or there's also like yes, okay. So the attendee list, once you log in using your rep email, the stbvirtual.com, when you go to your booth, that's what you will see, the attendee list. So that's only for the exhibitor to see. That's not for the front end. That's not for the buyers to see.
Can you show that screen again, Arjun?
Yeah, I was just going to say, can we show it again? Sanjay,
and
can
you can also,
and
you can probably also show us where exhibitors can see the confirmed list of meetings.
Sure.
Sanjay, are you there?
Yes, sir. I am sharing the screen.
Yeah.
This is the attendee tab from where you can see the live attendees.
Perfect. So I hope that answers your question. So when you go into the booth, or when you go into your booth, Janet, you can see the documents, video, social media, contacts, and you can see your attendees. So you can see where your attendees are there. Thanks, Pankaj. Sorry, thanks, Pankaj.
Sorry, Nikhil,
So
what I
about
meant was, how can we
the
see this
confirmed.
schedule of meetings? So, for example, if I know I have a buyer at 10:15, 10:30.
So yeah, I'll take that question. If you can see my screen now, this is the STB appointment list. This is the accepted appointments right on front of your screen. And these are accepted because I have filtered them that way. I can see the scheduled date, which is the 31st of August. I can see the scheduled time, which is 12:15. And that's basically how the meetings are being fixed. Moreover, further to this, the Spocks will be taking the responsibility once you, so the owners of setting up the meetings, of course, can be initiated by the sellers. We will help that, we will help them at every step. Once the meetings are set up, so for example, STB booth has accepted these many meetings and they have about 15 meetings for the day of the 31st. We suggest to set up 40 meetings. We will chase those 40 confirmed accepted meetings, we as in the Spocks respectively, and we will make sure that they basically are available, have good connection, and are ready to conduct meetings on the desired time, which is, for example, this gentleman will be meeting STB on 12:15. So we will try and make sure that that happens. If there are multiple people at any given time, that is fine. They can meet different reps and that can happen. So of course, getting more people is a better problem to have right now than having less. So we can't stress enough as to how important it is to have more and more accepted meetings here. I hope, Prasad, that answers your question.
Yeah, but can we send a confirmed list of buyers as per the meeting schedule to individual exhibitors on Sunday? The
Yes, yes, we
question
would
what
be
I'm
doing that.
asking is, yeah, because they need to know in order who is my next buyer in a chronological order. So after 10, whom I'm meeting at 10:15, because this is not showing onto the live screen, right? When they go onto the actual calls. So either they have to have a printout in front of them so they know that which is the next meeting and at what time.
Yes, we will make a ready reckoner. We have already made the format and the structure, and we would share that once we have the final accepted meetings. And the Spocks would appropriately share them with the sellers so that they are well equipped as to when they have to have a meeting with which buyer.
Thank you.
So let me just also share. So let me just quickly show you as well. Sorry. Everyone can see my screen. Now, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
So we are going to share a list like this with all the sellers. So the individual Spock will share this list and say who they were meeting with at what time. I don't want to show this for too long because this is obviously a particular client. So I'm going to stop sharing now, but we will send a list together like this. And your Spock will send that to you on Sunday. We don't want to send it too early because it'll be confusing because obviously more and more meetings are getting confirmed. But on Sunday evening, your Spock, individual Spock will send you this.
And just, I think one of the exhibitor wanted to know whether these meetings are as per Dubai time. I think yes, it is Dubai time and not Singapore time. So you have to manage your clock accordingly.
Yeah, so it's Dubai time. Just so we're clear, everyone. Again, there is unfortunately you will have to make it easier for the buyers and to make it easier for them. We've picked Dubai time or UAE time. You will have to work back your clocks a little bit yourself. Sorry, apologies for that.
Fawad here from Singapore Airlines. Just wanted to ask you backend, for example, once we schedule the meetings, the buyer must have received an email, right?
Yes.
That the exhibitor wants to meet them at X time. So, for example, if from Singapore Airlines side, I'm just thinking of the, because we want to increase the accepted invitations rate, which is currently not at par of the required number, which is 40. And we are really eager to...
Fawad, if I can just butt in, you are at 38. I think you are a gold standard for other sellers. So if there's anybody to aspire from, I think all other sellers should take lead from Singapore Airlines. They have 38 accepted meetings already. So we would definitely help you get more and more. And I would assist you with that. as well.
Yeah, so Fawaz, just in the interest of time and interest for everyone, if you've got any individual queries about your particular meetings, and I don't want to discuss individual meeting schedules as well as individual problems. So if you've got anything, take that up with your Spock or whoever there is, and they will solve them. Also, in the interest of, we don't want everyone to discuss who they're having meetings with, just in the interest of confidentiality, etc.
Okay, if I may complete my question. So what I was referring to is that, this is quite possible that, for example, that let's say if we are 10 exhibitors and the buyer must have received 10 emails from 10 exhibitors, probably at the same time, 10 a.m. So this may have, I don't know, but may have affected the acceptance level for all the exhibitors.
So that's exactly why we've given the option for the buyer to either accept, reschedule, or deny the meeting. So the expectation is that the buyer on their end would see how many meetings they've received. Just to let you know, we had 400 buyers. So there is a possibility that, there's not too many of overlapping requests, and that's why you've seen a lot of the meetings that, maybe not you, but a lot of the meetings that we've had, the buyers have asked for a reschedule or have asked for a denial. So we're leaving that with that. But once on Sunday evening, your Spock will again look at your individual schedule. We'll look at how many you have confirmed, and all the Spocks will get together just to make sure that if there is any overlap, we will sanitize that list and make sure that we're fixing it on Sunday.
Let me just add in something here. I've spoken to some of the buyers, and they said, yeah, some have overlapped, but then they said, they're gonna go and visit the stand as well, those that they haven't confirmed. So I think it's better to just, keep sending a meeting time, because they'll see that, that particular exhibitor is interested to meet them. So once they are on the system, then they will go and probably walk in.
Thanks. So I think, so Jessica's asking, if there's two of us and one of us is busy when the buyer selects, will it be automatically the call passed to my partner? So the buyer will have to select that he wants to speak to your partner, but that's fairly straightforward because the call will not go through to you. And in the buyer guide, we have specified that to people so that if you are not answering or you're not available, to call the next person on that list. The next question. Those to visit. Okay, so Jessica's asked, so the people who are visiting but you can't speak to them, will we also capture data? Yes, you will get essentially you will get a list of people who visited your booth, who've downloaded documents, who watched your video. So if you haven't then spoken to them or had a video call with them, later you can reach out to them and apologize and send them some information or schedule a call with them after this.
Sirhan has a question, Nikhil.
Yeah, so Sirhan asked the question, do we need to log into the backend and front end together during the event? Arjun, do you want to take that one?
So ideally, I would recommend that you log in one system at a time so that there is no overlap, and the system also has a unique email because your login details for the backend and the front end would be different. So I would ideally recommend you to log in at one particular platform at a time. That's what I would suggest.
Or if you have to, do it on a separate browser.
Yes, exactly. Yes. That is important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have experienced both admin and the front end. I have tried from Chrome as well as Safari. The experience in Chrome is a little better than the other browsers. So, of course, as Pankaj has also clarified, you can use two browsers for different ends, for one for backend, one for the front end. But I think you should prefer one at a time as well. Yeah.
So I think that's getting to the end of the questions. So just to highlight to all of you, you should have received an email from your Spock with their contact details. The same email should mention exactly what you uploaded on your booth. So your documents, your video, your contact information. They've essentially provided you a screenshot of all of that. So just make sure that there's no difference between what you think you've uploaded and what you've actually uploaded. So if there's any trouble with that, just make sure you highlight that to your Spock and they will look into it. So I think that's the biggest problem that we have. Sometimes people say, oh, I uploaded this video, or it didn't go through, and now, you know, my people haven't seen this video. So just make sure that that's why we got this measure. So they're sending you what they can see on the system, so that's really clear and there's no gap there. Focus on getting your meetings confirmed. So the SPOC should have sent you a list of agents who have set you as a preferred meeting. There's some of you may have 100, 150, or maybe 200 people who selected you. Therefore, we haven't told them to confirm meetings. We've asked you to go in and see who you want to meet. There should also be a little tag to say they're a luxury agent, they're a MICE agent, they're a group agent, you know, or the corporate. So you should have that flag so you can automatically see who you want to meet. Please, please aim to have 40 meetings scheduled. If you send out a bunch of requests, I mean yesterday, today, and tomorrow, expect some confirmation on Sunday. Your SPOC can help you today, tomorrow, and on Sunday on getting these meetings scheduled. As a last, if there is any problem, anytime this weekend up until Monday, call up your SPOC, WhatsApp your SPOC. They will be there on hand to help you. And finally, we have, I think this is our 7th or the 8th time we've done an event like this. The technology works fine, but it only works fine if everyone is there on the day answering calls. So, you know, one of the biggest problems we have is sometimes people leave their tab on and then go and make a cup of coffee or go and drink a water or go and have a conversation with someone else, and then no one answers. So that, in our opinion, that's given buyers a lot of times a bad experience. So I would request you all to make sure, you know, you're logged on, you're ready, you're available for that time. If you're not, make sure someone else is there on your booth or looking at your computer, just to make sure that, you know, there's no call left unanswered. Unlike a physical roadshow, you know, where we sort of push people to go and have these meetings, that's not unfortunately possible here. So I request you all to be there on the date, be ready. You know, if you're going for a drink of water, make sure someone's there to manage your booth or manage your calls. Apart from that, I can see there's a couple of other questions. So there's a couple of questions from Janet, who's asking is that they want to change one of the staff on their booth. Pankaj, can you please offline after this, we look into how they can change that information, and Janet, your SPOC will reach out to you to see how that is. Yes, we don't allow, but your SPOC will reach out to see how they can read that. Who can initiate the meeting, the buyer or the seller? So normally a normal time, the buyer will, or the agent who's visiting your booth, they will initiate the meeting. But you, I think, can monitor the attendees tab to see who's on your booth at the time, and you can chat with them. So they will have to initiate.
They can. Yeah. Let me just come in, Nikhil. They can also, so the exhibitor can also initiate the call in the chat.
Right.
Yeah,
sorry,
you're right.
My mistake,
in the attendee list. Yeah.
Okay, so both.
Both can. Yes.
So exactly. So even better, my understanding is a bit out of date. You can also initiate calls. So who's on your booth, press refresh, initiate that call. We received a lot of feedback on the events that we got, but the biggest pain point for everyone is people not answering calls. So we've got a SPOC for you to make sure that they're there on the buyer side, but I request all of you to make sure on the seller side you're there, available at all times to answer calls and talk to people. With that, I would like to bring this meeting to an end. I think we've answered most of your questions. If you have any other questions, again, reach out to your SPOC. They're available all weekend to answer them. All of us will be together on Monday morning, I think from 7:30 a.m. UAE time. We will all be on the ground answering calls. So we're kind of working towards your time on Monday morning. So we're happy to take up any queries then as well. Without further ado, best of luck, everyone. Hope everything goes well. And hopefully we can celebrate in person soon later together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, one and all. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, everyone.